According to Jerome Powell, we talked about this the other day, but there will be more restrictive policy on the way. And this is something we've talked about for a long time, but it's buying insurance, it's battening down the hatches, it's understanding that they are committed to their demand destruction, and they're committed to destroying more jobs and to getting inflation down, which again, as we know, they don't have to do any of that. All they have to do is, well, I shouldn't say all they have to do, but one of the ways they most likely could really affect inflation and start taming inflation is by requiring the banks to hold more reserves and sucking the liquidity back into the system. You don't need to go around beating everyone over the head and destroying everyone's jobs by raising rates and getting people like foreign countries, people in the United States, etc., that have variable rate loans, things like that, and they're getting crushed. They're trying to find more and more dollars to pay off the loans that they have, and this is going to continue, as Powell said, and we have to be very prepared for that. And again, that's what we do here. It's questioning things, it's looking at things from every angle that we possibly can, questioning everything with boldness, right? Trust but verify. You have to continue going, and this is why we talk about the fundamentals all the time. Talk about them all the time. Or I'm not going to get into like an MIT debate and study of like, oh, how do you do a call option? Like, there's places for that. You can go do that somewhere else. My job here, and I believe most humans' jobs, is to wake up the masses. It's to wake people up. And we only need a couple percent of people. We only need a few percent of people to change the way society thinks. Money is psychological. Humans are psychological. Everything's psychological. Life is our perception of reality. That's all it is. Going back to our higher faculties. We've been talking about that a lot lately. But we start understanding some of these basic foundational pieces of life, and things start to click and become easier and more profound. This is why I was talking in the other video too about the point, the reason that all this is so important, and why we talk about Bitcoin so much, because Bitcoin is a separation of money and state. Bitcoin is defunding the state. Bitcoin is minimizing the role of government in our lives and putting merit back into the world, and literally making people want to become better people. Bitcoin has changed me in that way. I know so many people that have literally done that. I was already a person that, again, playing hockey, being an elite athlete, playing professionally, being very cautious about what I put in my body, and how I eat and how I work out, and being at the top of my physical game, and working on my mental game. Bitcoin makes me want to do that even more, seeing even longer down the road. And I already thought long term, but Bitcoin makes you think even more and lowers your time preference even more. It makes you think 100 plus years into the future and think about generations from now and what life's going to be like. And where before I only looked a decade or two or a couple decades into the future, now I look hundreds of years into the future. And that makes you do different things. It makes you make different choices. You're not YOLOing. You're not just blowing cash you have. You're not making ridiculous decisions. You're not eating cheeseburgers all day, every day. So understand that this system we're in, Powell on high, sitting there, oh, we're going to do this and that. That's gone in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we know exactly what the monetary issuance is. Let's work in the world we want to be in. A world of abundance, a world of free, well, I shouldn't say free, but I'm thinking of a world where there's abundance. There might be a lot of things that are free, and it probably will be, quite honestly, actually, now that I think about it a little bit more, but just complete abundance everywhere. Energy being so cheap because we have a neutral money in Bitcoin that captures deflation instead of inflation, which we have with fiat currencies, and all the prices running away from everybody and only the people at the top getting the benefit. That has to be paid. All the inflation, all that currency printing has to be paid by somebody, and it's paid through the inflation, through our time and energy. That is we have no say in. Deflation literally turns the entire thing on its head the other direction, and we get to capture all the deflation instead of the few people at the top, instead of the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, and the Bill Gates. The people, it gets distributed out throughout the plebs, all throughout the world, banking the unbanked, banking the underbanked. This is the way. This is the IMF and pillaging and taking the resources of the global south. That's gone. Days of that are over. And that's the world I want to be in. That's the world I want my children in. A world where wars don't even make sense. You're defunding wars. You're defunding the governments. You're defunding the bureaucracies. You're defunding the despots. You're defunding the tyrants. They can't go and pillage people anymore. Because if they try to pull a BlackRock or what JP Morgan does with the gold and silver price, because you can't audit it, they can suppress gold price. They can sell paper gold that they don't have, and they can suppress the price because no one can audit it. Who can audit it? With Bitcoin, you can audit it, right? You can run a node for a couple $100 and you can audit it. You can be literally your own bank. Custody and self-storage, be your own bank, control your own wealth, your own assets. In your mind with 12 words, you can go fly to Mars, walk to another country, and you have your wealth in your head. Never before in human history have we had something like that. You can't take your house with you. You can't take your bond certificate. It don't matter. You can't take your real estate with you. You can't take your gold and silver with you. It's too hard. It's too clunky. You can't take your business with you and walk to Thailand. That's not how it works. So this is the game changer. Digital finite scarcity we have now, where humans can now have. We've digitized wealth. We've digitized money, so it can be transferred automatically and instantaneously at the speed of commerce. This is the world we're living in, and because of that deflation, now we get to capture those gains. This is why energy costs trend towards zero. Everything trends towards zero, and we become more and more abundant, and we have more and more and more. But this period, though, we're going to have this period where only the producers win, though. The consumers, the people that just sit back and do nothing, are going to go away. You're either going to be gone or you change. You don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you, and you will change and become a productive member of society. What a beautiful world. What a beautiful world. Think of all the production we are missing with people just sitting around doing nothing. Quite honestly, it's disgusting, and we're losing out. We all lose, right? The person loses because they're not fulfilled, they're unhappy, they're popping pills, suicides are through the roof, pills are through the roof, usage, sedation. You have the MAID program in Canada, but now we flip everything on its head and people are then motivated and have to get out, and accountability, meritocracy goes up. Now we all get to benefit. That person gets to benefit, and all of society gets to benefit from their genius, from their work. Whether it's someone in a Western country just sitting around doing nothing, or someone in the third world who literally had no ability. They were being pillaged by the IMF and the dollar. Now all these people in the world get to lock on to the same network, the Bitcoin network, the hardest computer system and the biggest network to ever exist. When it comes will be when it comes to money. Now everyone gets to plug into this, and the value of that is so immeasurable we can't even understand it. So I laugh when I see Powell. We talk about this stuff here and there, but we want to focus on what we're building in the future. We don't want to spend much time in the legacy system. The legacy system is dying. It's a Titanic slipping under the waves, and we are on the Bitcoin life raft, looking at the Titanic, telling everyone, guys, this thing is sinking. It's imploding left and right. Look at the President of the United States. Look at the people in the administration. Look at the people all around. Look at the leaders we have. Look at the Republicans and Democrats we have in Congress. These people, they couldn't pass the children's presidential fitness test in middle school right now. Like as 50, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-olds, none of them can even pass it. They are anything but leaders. We need rules, not rulers. And this is the world we are going into. That's life. These are life cycles. So I don't want to talk about the legacy system too much. We have to, in a sense, because we need to cross this bridge from the old system to this new system we're going to live in. But we want to spend the majority of our time building this new system that we are going into. So Powell, Yellen, these people are laughable. Laughable. Biden, all of them. All of them. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. Anyone who's speaking truth, the algorithm's not going to share it. So if you feel compelled, please share it out. The faster we can increase the adoption of sanity back into our lives. Question everything is boldness, even the existence of God himself. Trust but verify. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.